Hello and welcome. My name is Gwen Hall. I'm Point B's Cell and Gene Therapy Executive. In 2010, Point B made history with one of our clients when they launched the first autologous therapy targeting prostate cancer. And most recently, in 2021, our client launched 2 autologous therapies targeting blood cancer. In both cases, our clients led with great stride in terms of their science and their operations. Where they engaged Point B was in that operational readiness commercialization space. Susan, you've been in the trenches. You know what's going on with these different clients. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing that's unique to this therapy?
Part of what we've learned when working with these early to mid-stage clients is some of the critical keys to success are really around balance, timing, and flexibility. It's critical that our clients are thinking about when do we need to invest and where do we need to invest. We've seen if they invest too big or too early, they're really boxing themselves in and limiting their options as the landscape continues to change. And it can make it difficult for them to flex as they need to flex. When they've invested too little too late, we've also seen that it's hard for them to be able to scale and support the demand that's waiting for them with their product. So part of what's been so exciting as we've worked with these clients is we've been able to be there for the journey, and we've also been able to see some of the pitfalls. Being able to help these clients think through what they need to do in order to get their products to their patients and to avoid some of those pitfalls is really what's so exciting.
Pat, let's transition to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing with our clients in terms of their commercialization journey?
Yeah, thanks, Gwen. I agree. The commercialization readiness journey is a complex one for anybody. But I'd say that there are 3 key success factors that really stand out for me that cell and gene therapy organizations should be thinking about as they prepare for commercialization. And the first of these is it's critical to have good enterprise alignment across the organization on the commercialization strategy. This means that leaders need to set and communicate clear priorities about the commercialization journey. And at the same time, there have to be fast and simple feedback mechanisms in place to be able to convey information clearly and swiftly back to leaders so that they can make informed decisions as needed. All too often, we see organizations fail to make that investment in organizational alignment around the strategy up front, which tends to result in a lot of chaos and just inefficient working in general, which can be really challenging for the commercialization journey.
I want to click into something a little bit deeper here that you're talking about, and then that is that strategy piece. So often our clients engage us and want to start at the operating model, and a lot of times we have to take a step back with them and help them understand the importance of that strategy and being able to articulate to their people, what's their product pipeline strategy. Do they want to set up their organization globally or regionally in terms of its process technology and organization? And without that, you use the word chaos. I think that's a really good descriptor, because if the strategy hasn't been articulated up front, oftentimes the business functions are articulating their own strategy. And when there are cross-functional processes that need to be implemented, that turns into what you're describing as the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's important to have a core strategy in place that's really anchored in a target operating model, because without it, to your point, you're just going to be setting yourself up for a lot of inefficiency and a lot of frustration in the organization. And that kind of takes me to my second critical success factor, which is that it's really important for cell and gene therapy companies that are getting ready for commercialization readiness to take a holistic scan across their organization. I think one of the pitfalls that we see organizations fall into as they're getting ready for readiness for commercialization is that they tend to believe that, oh, we can implement a new system or we can go through a major reorganization and that's somehow magically going to prepare us for commercialization readiness. And the fact of the matter is that kind of myopic perspective really fails to take into consideration everything you need to be thinking about to go through something as complex as commercialization. We find that the organizations that are most prepared to make that jump into commercialization are those that are considering the 7 areas of a holistic target operating model. And the third success factor, finally, that I want to bring up, kind of tied to that, is the importance of having a roadmap. So, a roadmap may not sound like much, but it's really important to be able to have a clear roadmap in place to be able to implement your commercialization readiness plan, to be able to navigate the complexities of readiness, as well as the scalability factors that you have to be thinking about. It's so important to have a tightly integrated ecosystem to support that personal product manufacturing process. And in order to be able to do that, you need to have your processes, your people, and your technology really working in sync together.
Absolutely. I think what I've really liked about our methodology and approach with all of this is there's a change management aspect to it, right? We're not just in a bubble, or our client executive isn't just in a bubble. It's us working in the trenches with the people to come up with that roadmap. And I think that's really key to their success. Thank you, Pat and Susan. This has been a fun conversation, and thank you for joining us. If you're interested in learning more about Point B's cell and gene therapy capabilities, I invite you to email us at insights@pointb.com, and I look forward to talking with you.